So a little bit more introduction, and sorry, I'll show a little bit of a PowerPoint just so it kind of reminds me of some things that hopefully I wouldn't forget or I might forget otherwise. So here we go. So why are we going to simulate and do a simulation maybe instead of some other things we could do for this class? I find generally students seem to enjoy it. We get to kind of run a company over a number of years, but we do it in a very compressed time frame. It's risk-free, okay? In other words, we get to run a company. We don't have to put any money up, right? We get to use different strategies. Selectivity versus integration. That one I'm not 100% sure why that would be there, but things that you're going to do, right? Okay, you'll work together in some teams. I think that that's kind of important. Hopefully use some strategic thinking, and you guys will be required to choose a strategy, and we'll talk about those in a bit. Test your business acumen, and we'll do that in several different areas, right? There's ultimately you'll take the comp exam, which will test you in about 6 different areas overall. Understand the overall interaction and impact, right? Figure out that you got competition, right? And hopefully take away some practical skills in management. I shouldn't say hopefully, of course you will. So what's this? Well, our industry is saying that the FTC required that Sensors Inc. be broken into separate companies. Okay, so it got too big, it was a monopoly, and so now we got 6 different companies, okay? And you're going to have to compete against one another, and each of you starts out equally. Okay, here's what happens when it's broken up. There's $100 million in total sales. There's 5 market segments. That means 5 different types of products. You should have gotten that from the situation analysis. 5 product lines. Okay, and it's a closed marketplace, meaning we won't have the potential for new competitors coming in. Okay, so our customers need OEMs or original equipment manufacturing need sensors for their products, right? Used for diverse applications. So these could be the things, you know, that are in thermostats or cars or any kinds of different things, right? There's 5 clear market segments: low, traditional, high, performance, and size. And customer demands vary between the 5 segments. If I could emphasize anything that seems to be forgotten, especially early on when students get in there, is that watch your customer demands, your customer buying criteria, okay? It's different for each of the 5 segments. It should help you determine greatly, you know, where to position your products in all the various facets, physical positioning, pricing, etc. Okay, extremely important. Okay, it is in real life too. It's doing what your customers want, right? I know that sounds easy. Okay, so what happens here? And we have this perceptual map that, honestly, when I'm more of a numbers guy. When I started with this didn't have much appeal to me because I wanted to look at the numbers, but I've gotten so I really like it, and because in a simple glance you can kind of tell where the customer demand is, and the customer demand lies within the dark circle. Okay, or over here maybe. It's within that dark circle, but it's at various points. It's not dead center. Okay, that's why you did that on the situation analysis too. There's a preferred spot, right, where it ends up, and that's demonstrated right here by these pink ones. Actually, it is dead center in the traditional, but you can see, you know, it's kind of at the front end here on these ones, and in the low end, it's kind of trailing a little bit. That's what the customers actually want. Okay, it's important to note that as the game goes on, our customers' expectations, this is going to be like at the end of 8 rounds, right? Here's where our customer expectations are. Here's where we start. Okay, if you don't move your products, you do that in the research and development. If you don't move them to keep up, okay, it's going to be difficult. It's also very easy to see that that's far more important in the front end here, these 3 products, than the traditional and the low end. These ones move a lot slower, especially the low end. Okay, so low end customer characteristics, right? Price sensitive, They don't really care if it's cutting edge. Okay, ideal age, look at that, 7 years. Ideal MTBF. This is all available on your Capstone Courier, okay, in the customer buying criteria, okay. Traditional, right, still price sensitive. They kind of want average performance and size, right. Ideal MTBF is in that range, and the age is quite a bit less, right, than with the low end. High end, not as price sensitive, right. They want high performance and small size. You know, MTBF's got to be far greater, right? And ideal age is 0. They want it new, right? I want you to give me, I want the latest and greatest. Performance, again, not price sensitive, but they want highest performance. Size isn't quite as important, right? Okay, big time on the MTBF, right? Ideal age a year. They want it relatively new. And size, you know, similar, right? But obviously we want a small size. Performance isn't as big a deal. MTBF isn't quite as big a deal, right? Age, yeah, okay. So this is a fast-growing industry, really fast. Okay, these are average. We're going to find that our growth rates may differ a little bit. Okay. In the game, so you'll want to pay attention. It gives you a forecast every year. Okay, it gives you a forecast as to when, what they anticipate the demand will be for the next year. So the decision-making process. Well, we get to make decisions in these areas, and you got to coordinate it. Okay, we'll add some additional modules. HR will be added, TQM will be added, labor negotiations added, and advanced marketing added. HR is added in the second round. Not a tremendously difficult module. TQM gets a little bit more complicated. Labor negotiations, advanced marketing adds in, I think, the third round. Okay, and it adds a little bit of a complexity as well. Okay, hang on, unplug my phone. There we go. So R&D, right? You want to ensure the perceived age of the product meets customer demand. So if you move your product, okay, then it will change the age. Okay, I would encourage you to look at, you know, what the age requirements are, what the age requests are for each segment, right? Because in the low end, remember, they want one that's 7 years old. They want one that's kind of old. In the high end, they want one that's 0. Okay, and each segment's different. So careful when you're moving those around in terms of the age. Okay, build the quality and reliability of the products, again, that match the customer demand. You may want to invent new products. You don't have to. Okay, but you may want to. Inventing new products gives you some advantages. Think of the new iPhone whenever it comes out, right? There's 1 million people lined up to buy it just because. Marketing, you get to set the price, right? You get to invest in promotion or sales, which is Salesforce, right? Okay. Keep in mind that might vary a little bit for, again, the type of product. You know, what's more important? Getting it out, how do you get it out to the customers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And you can also set credit policies in terms of your accounts receivable and your accounts payable. Production, you can buy capacity. Okay. You can buy automation in the production side. Okay, you can make your company more automated, fewer employees then, right? But it takes an investment, right? Okay, it takes an investment when you do that. It doesn't say, oh yeah, purchase machinery to automate. So, and then finance, you got to make sure that you have enough cash. Okay, that's kind of bottom line in the finance a little bit, but I would also tell you that as the game goes on a little bit, finance becomes very, very important. You know, at the start of the game, you don't have a lot of cash and you have a lot of needs. Okay, by the end of the game, if everything goes really well, you might have a lot of cash and you might not have a lot of places to invest it. So then what do you do? Okay, that's a problem. There's a lot of corporations that have that problem, Apple being one, Microsoft another. You know, they're sitting on billions of dollars of cash, and what do you do with it? Okay, so you'll end up having some ideas about how to do that, right? Okay, pro formas are a nice way to do a what if. Okay, you guys can click on those in your decisioning, right? And it's kind of a nice way to do a what if, right? There's another way to do a what if, and I usually kind of use the finance page to do that. So if I want to change some other things, maybe marketing, I want to see if I spend more on marketing, how that might affect my sales and how ultimately that might affect my cash at the end of the year, because ultimately I want to be cash positive. Okay, so I can go make those changes and then go back and look at my finance page. So there's different ways you can do that kind of throughout. Scoring methods, don't even look at theirs. Okay, I've got my own scoring method. I don't like theirs. And I could run through why, but that's kind of unnecessary. I just tell you that I don't like it. Okay, that's it for kind of a little introduction to that. I'll send you out some more here on strategy and decision making.